January is a pantry challenge month for a lot of families. It is here at the Venison for Dinner household. Thank you, Marius, for slamming that bag of peas on the counter in the background. Marius is currently making soup for lunch. I would hazard a guess the number one reason people go to the grocery store is not because they necessarily need groceries, but because they're bored with what they have at home. Food boredom is a thing, especially with snacks. So I have hazelnuts here and almonds, and I'm gonna show you two simple, delicious snacks. I recommend doing these when you already have the oven on for something else. Make use of that oven already going. The prep time is so small on these. You're already, baking muffins for lunches or roasting some potatoes for dinner. Throw in some of these bad boys too. We're gonna spread out nuts. We've got one tray of hazelnuts. It's not quite enough for the recipe, but I'm just using up what I have. And the other tray is almonds. And then we're gonna pop these in the oven at 350 until they're nicely lightly roasted, and the recipe linked goes over all those things. After the nuts are out of the oven, on the almonds, I'm using some soy sauce. This isn't our favorite soy sauce, but I have it, so I'm using it up. It's gonna steam, make sure that your pan can handle this sort of thing. Don't be using a clay sheet pan or something, I don't know. Stir them all around so they all get coated, and those hot almonds are gonna make it steam. And then we're gonna pop them back in the oven for 5 minutes until they have dried off. Now the hazelnuts. Again, heat safe bowl, because you just put hot nuts in there. And we're gonna toss with maple syrup until they're all nicely coated. There's measurements in the recipe for you. I actually put a little bit too much maple syrup on, but that's okay. Now we're gonna do cocoa and salt, which I didn't have out, of course. Toss these all together, and I keep adding cocoa until the nuts are no longer sticky and they are dusted in the cocoa so that they don't just stick together in one massive blob in the jar. You would never be able to get them out if that were the case. Now the almonds are all done, and it's time to get them into a jar. They cool off so quickly that I can easily package them up. The pan looks hard to clean, but it's not. If you just put a bit of water on and let it sit for a few minutes, it easily comes clean, so there's no need to use parchment. It takes very little elbow grease if you just let it soak. There we go, friends. With minimal prep, we have 2 quarts of delicious snacking nuts. We started making these tamari almonds because Marius loved the ones you could buy at the store. They were so much more expensive than the regular almonds. I'm like, surely we could figure this out ourselves. So there you go. And this one is one I adapted from a cookbook. They are delicious with almonds, but if you can spring for hazelnuts, extra delicious. They're like a lightened up chocolate covered almond, because they're obviously not chocolate covered, but they hit a lot of those same notes, naturally sweetened, minimal ingredients,